From freefincal and welcome to another edition of Weight Loss Wednesdays, where we talk about how to lose weight naturally in a healthy manner and also talk about different aspects of health. We've been talking about how it's important to distinguish between losing weight and getting fit via exercising, and the importance of not fasting if you want to start losing weight, and the importance of being hydrated and drinking enough water. So if you have been doing that since last week, you probably would have seen that your stools are more regular now and your urine is not dark in color and it's kind of mild yellow to nearly white. So we are now ready for the next step, which is to avoid all forms of sugar. I've talked about the title says the nutrition label that changed my life. I'll show you that. But there is one video that led me to look at that nutrition label, and that video was suggested by PV Subramaniam of subramani.com. I have a lot to thank PV Subramaniam for. He's responsible for the initial growth spurt of freefincal.com, and he's also responsible for talking about avoiding sugar and how it's harmful. And he had shared a video called Sugar the Bitter Truth. I'll try to link it in the playlist, or it'll be down in the description box. And in that video, the speaker, who is actually a doctor, he talks about how fructose, which is a form of sugar, which is found in fruits and also many processed foods, fructose, when you remove it away from, when you separate the fructose from fiber in fruits, the fructose is always packaged with fiber. Higher the fructose content, higher will be the fiber content in the fruit. That's how nature has made it. But when you process it and remove the fructose away from the fiber, and you make it, you package it into processed foods, then the way it affects the liver is identical to the way alcohol affects the liver. The only difference between sugar and alcohol is that alcohol can cross the blood brain barrier. I think it can go into the brain and affect the brain and intoxicate us, whereas sugar only affects the liver. And he also shows how eating processed foods high in sugar can lead to obesity and so on. So, and he also says that he also clarifies that eating fruits is okay because it has got that fiber, and how that fiber helps negate the toxic effect of that fructose, and how nature has provided the antidote, which is the fiber, along with the poison. His words. Subra shared this video in his Facebook timeline. I looked at it, and the first thing I did after looking at it was go to the kitchen and reach for a sugar packet. And I had a packet like this. This is the white label sugar from Paris. And if you look at the nutrition label, I hope I get it right. There it is. Can you see it? It says carbohydrates 99.95 grams, of which sugar is 99.95 grams. When I looked at it, I just decided that from that moment on not to touch sugar at all in my life. That essentially tells you that all sugars are carbohydrates. Of course, not all carbohydrates are sugars, but all sugars are definitely carbohydrates. So this is the nutrition label that changed my life, and it made a huge difference in my health. It made a bigger difference than not eating rice or wheat and so on. We will talk about that in later episodes. So, so this is what you need to do. First is, please look at the two videos I'd already talked about. The link is there on the in the description box, where I say if you want to lose weight, eat more fat. All the videos are linked in that post. You can have a look at that. Please look at it. Spend the time. There's a very detailed video. This bitter truth video, I think there's got two versions. One is the technical version, and one is the TEDx or TED version, which is kind of more generic. But I strongly suggest that you sit through the technical version. Then only you'll understand the impact and the importance of avoiding sugar. So, if you actually look at it, we are not meant to eat sugarcane at all, because in sugarcane contains huge amounts of fiber because it has got huge amounts of sugar in it. And the moment you separate it out and make sugar from it, So you're basically removing the antidote away from the poison. And so that's, animals can eat sugarcane because they can process the fiber. We cannot process the fiber. Um, so we are not meant to eat sugarcane. I think animals can eat the whole thing, so they are okay with it because they have the fiber to wash away the sugar away from our system. So avoid, the first thing you can do is stop taking sugar in your coffee or tea. Don't put sugar in your curd if you like curd. And in some houses they put a little bit of jaggery in sambar or rasam. Tell them not to do it. Please don't say sugar is jaggery is better than sugar. No, it is not. Please don't say palm sugar is better than cane sugar. No, it's not. It's all sugar. You can eat palm directly, then it is okay. The fiber is coming along with it. If the moment you remove the fructose away from the fiber, the fructose is essentially toxic to our system. That's the essential idea. So fruits are healthy. They got a lot of nutrients. Fantastic for you. That's because you should eat fruits in whole, because you're eating it along with the necessary amount of fiber. But when you please don't drink juice. Please don't drink fruit juice because that's processed. That's probably one of the first processed foods man ever created. What is the first processed food? Is it bread or fruit? I asked my wife. I think bread making is known for centuries, but I think they could have. I think early man could have squished the fruit and caught the juice and drunk the juice separately. So I think my vote goes to the first processed food in the world is juice. Do not drink juices. In fact, I would say if you are obese, if you want to lose weight, do not eat fruits also, for at least for the time being. Once your weight is lower up to a nice level, you have regulated your metabolism, then you can start eating sugars. So avoid, if you want to lose weight badly, avoid sugars, avoid all forms of sugar. Avoid fruits as well. But if you think you are the right weight, then you can eat fruits, but don't touch any kind of fruit juice with or without added sugar. Imagine they put sugar onto that fruit juice, which is even worse. Avoid all processed foods, biscuits. Don't eat anything that comes in a package from your store. Don't eat anything. Just do this. Do this for 1 month. Notice the difference in your body. Just trust me. I immediately, within 3 days, I could notice. For 3 days, I stopped adding sugar to my coffee. This was more than almost 3 years ago. For 3 days, I did it. I could tell immediately. I felt fitter. Immediately, I could tell the weight. I could sense the weight loss. Of course, my body frame is such that I put on weight, but I also lose it quickly. I put on weight quickly, I also lose it quickly. But some people, it can be different. It depends on where the fat goes and gets stored and so on. There are different body frames, different body types. I'm not an expert to talk about all that. The results will be different for different people, but you will see the difference. I guarantee you. Try it. Stop eating all direct forms of sugar. Stop eating all processed foods. Stop eating sweets, even if made at home. Don't eat sweets. I think that's bad because you're going to put sugar into it. Don't eat any kind of sweets. In fact, don't eat things like tomato ketchup and all that. There's a lot of sugar in it. Look at the nutrition label. Many people cheat when it comes to nutrition labels. I'll talk about that in a separate video. Look at not just the nutrition, the carbohydrates, proteins, sugars, and so on. Don't look at just that. Look at the ingredients. Many people, they will add salt and say they will not mention sodium in the nutrition label. They will add sugar. They will not mention sugar in the nutrition label. They will add honey. Also don't drink honey. That's also don't eat. You're not meant to do that. That's for the bees, not for you. They will add a honey and it will not be mentioned as a sugar in the nutrition label. The correct way to do it is to show you the total carbohydrate content per 100 grams so that it comes out as a percentage. They will show per serving. That is also wrong. Then they should show of which how much is sugar, how much is fiber. They should so that's like sugar, fiber, starch. Those are three forms of carb. So that's how the nutrition label should be done. Many people cheat on this. We will have to be alert. The best way to be alert is to just like information processing, the best way to process information is to avoid it. The best way to avoid processed food is to avoid it. To select or choose processed food is to avoid it. Don't touch any of them. Do this for the rest of your life. You will lose weight. In fact, for many people, if they are not so overweight, nothing further is necessary. Drink enough water. Avoid all forms of sugar. Eat normally. Eat only when hungry. That is all. Your weight loss regime is done. You don't need to do anything else. Just eat normally. Eat healthy. Don't overeat. When your body says, "I have had enough," stop eating. Just eat a little bit less. That's also fine. But eat only when hungry. That's it. But if you're too obese, then you may need to avoid eating carbs and so on. That may sound extreme to you. For many people, what? You don't eat rice? You don't eat wheat? That kind of thing sounds extreme to you. Many people. But let's not get into that. We'll talk about that in the later episodes. But at least this, please do this. So give this a try and let me know how your progress is. And if you have any comments, please let me know. And I'll catch you again in another video. If you have any suggestions for this series, please let me know. Bye-bye.